Shalom and good day all. This is Tehillim29 back again for another subscriber catch-up live stream. And my goodness, has it been quite an interesting week for me. And I certainly hope a number of people will be able to join us today, whether it's in text or in live stream. And I must admit, this week has been quite an interesting week for me, including learning that I was ready for something when mentally I didn't think I was. So that was really nice and exciting. Also hoping of having Tevye Smoker on here, as he was wanting to discuss something on his channel, and I hope we can get around to discussing it on this channel, because things didn't go so well for him there. And at least we can sort of talk on the topic of it here. Thanks for making it. So, who is here with us today? Of course, there's myself and the other guest here, or the other person watching. And I must admit, I have slowly, and I mean slowly, made a start back to watching anime here. And even though it's taken a while, I'm still getting used to this desktop and its new little functions and whatever else, because it did get its insides upgraded, literally. What else? I've been trying to catch up with all of my comics that will be reviewed on the channel in this month and the upcoming month. So making sure that none of those are missed. And this is one series that I have been catching up with, and that is Shaman King. I've slowly made the return to it, so I'll be able to pick up where I left off from with my reviews, and with that I'll be able to continue on with my reviews of following the story. I still need to catch up to manga, and with that other things that I've been doing is catching up with some graphic novels that I've got here, and with that also got some manga to catch up with too. So I've finally made a start on Assassination Classroom in reference to the box set, and I still need to find some time to finish off some comics that I've got here, make sure I've got enough bags and boards, whatever else, so that they can be put away. Following what's happening with the Super Sons, so that they can be covered in the Super Sons Fortress of Attitude. I might see if I can try to get back in, try to get Tevye Smoker in here, because I know that I asked him to come along. Alright, just sending a message off to him now. Alright. That's all done. Just gotta wait for him to turn up. Because I know he wanted to discuss the topic of the continuity, and if there'll be a bit of a reboot of sorts for DC Comics. And I've got no problem with talking about that. A little bit hungry here. So from the last live stream, which was actually covering the DC solicitations, I've found some time to take care of a number of reviews that I needed to get out of the way. And I've definitely got a question for the audience, and it can also be left in the comment section if you happen to encounter this live stream afterwards. And it's got to do with an anime series that I have put up a review up on the channel, and it is on the Hitman Reborn series. Now, I'm planning on doing, or I've got thoughts of doing like an overall reflection of the series, but I'd like for, or when it comes out, for all of like the reviews to come out first. And that's, hey, good to see you, Michael Brent. I didn't quite get to catch up with you last time on the last live stream. I do apologize for that because I noticed that as the live stream broadcast was ending, it was only then that I noticed your comment in the text, and I do apologize for that because I didn't see you at the time and I didn't know you were there at the time. So Michael Brent's got something to share. Ezra Miller, he's not doing good as the Flash. I totally agree, especially with some of the stupid things that he has been doing. And personally, I'd have no problem if DC Comics wants to replace Ezra Miller with someone else to be the Flash. You do stupid things, you cop consequences. And he also includes, well, a new season of Ultraman and Pacific Rim are coming. Yep. And because of him, the Flash movie was delayed. Yes, it was. And you'd think someone like him would make better decisions. And that's the truth. You'd think someone like him would make better decisions, not stupid decisions. But in this case, no, he decided to go full on stupid. Well, stupid is as stupid does. Also, there has been a trailer for Xenoblade 3. Yep. Kingdom Hearts 4. Yes, I remember hearing that Kingdom Hearts 4 recently got a new trailer. We also have Fire Emblem, Three Houses, Warriors, and Tales of Aris or Aria. And he also includes, there's going to be a Godzilla versus the Power Rangers in comics. Yes, I've actually seen news about that. I'm not too sure if I'll be able to pick that up. We've also got Breath of the Wild 2 was delayed. It's nice to see you, Michael Brent. I hope you've been having a really enjoyable week. And that's the truth. I hope you enjoyed your week. Also, with what you've been doing, what you've been reading. What video games have you been playing? I know I'm sort of waiting for Tevye Smoker to turn up because I did let him know that he was welcome to turn up to the live stream. And he was wanting to talk about something on his channel which didn't quite work out. So I offered, hey, come join my channel and we'll talk about it here. So, and I believe it had to do with what's happening over at DC Comics. Well, I'm trying to get a job and stay out of trouble. And I really hope you do get it, Michael. I really hope you do. And I'm with you there. Go ahead. Do your best in both of those things, and I really hope you achieve it. Has there been any video games or anime that you've checked out recently? Oh, yes, that's right. It was on... that's right. The last one where you sort of turned up at the end was having to do with the Jujutsu Kaisen anime review, which didn't quite end up happening. And that's right. And it was at the end. It was that live stream. Not the solicitation station live stream, because I do believe you made it to that one. It was just the one after that I didn't get to see your comment or text. So, yes, I had a bit of a somewhat interesting experience in regards to some discrimination because of the stupid crap that's happening here in Australia. And it involves a certain certificate. Sorry, shove that certificate up your ass. Being blunt, I gotta say it. Because it's important that not only the government, but also the public don't know about your bloody personal or private life for some things. For some things, other things not. Anime, Scarlet Nexus. So my guess is that you've been watching that. Orient. Actually, that is one manga that I'm thinking of picking up. My Hero Academia. I already picked up the manga for that, and also need to watch the next season of the anime should be, I think, coming out soon on My Hero Academia. Of course, Demon Slayer, Tiger and Bunny. You're still playing Super Smash Ultimate and checking Fire Emblem and Xenoblade and Kid Icarus Uprising. You also played a game called Doki Doki Literature Club, which I believe is almost somewhat meant to be, I think, harem-like. By what I understand, I could be incorrect, so feel free to correct me on that. So with things not going well with seeing the animated movie of Jujutsu Kaisen 0, I was still able to use the opportunity to promote the Jujutsu Kaisen manga, of which the story was actually based around. And hey, look who it is! It's Ed Brewer. Nice to see you. I'm glad you made it. Just recent. Just been going for a little while at the moment, Ed Brewer. It was a little bit quiet at the start, but it looks like a couple of people are starting to make it to the stream, which is really good. I am somewhat waiting for Tevier Smoker to turn up, because I know that there was something that he wanted to talk about on his channel that didn't quite work out, and I offered, hey, come over to the subscriber live stream, we'll talk about it here. So, and we'll get to talk about what he wanted to talk about on his live stream, on this live stream. And it was on the topic of the present DC continuity, and is there a possibility that there might be a reboot? Whether that actually happens or not, it's presently hard to tell. With the Dark Crisis, it could go anywhere. Oh, actually, this brings up a good question for the commenters in the channel. Would you like to see DC reboot its comics once again? Like, how many reboots do we need? well, if they actually brought in good writers, or should we say writers that the readers care about, okay, might consider it. Such as, for example, bring back Peter J. Tomasi, bring back more Dan Jurgens, but don't let them curtail to your stupid ideology and let them write the stories that they want to write for the audience, including in reference to the Super Sons. In other words, the dumb ideology that they want to propagandize in the comics right now. Are you insane? DC already is already rebooted the entire universe, and we don't want any more multiverse events. We just need a standard DC story with the original Justice League. Fair point, Michael Brent. Fair point. Ed Brewer response, I can agree with Michael. Hey, welcome to the live stream, Lord. Glad to see you made it. Well, this live stream isn't just about me. It's also about you, the subscribers who subscribe to the channel, and what you've been up to, what you've been reading, and what you've been doing. What things you've been enjoying. I'll show one thing from earlier. I'm not too sure if anyone got to see this before. Hey, good to see you, Tevier. Feel free to come in through not the invitation way, but the other way to join the live stream. And we can finally talk about the topic that you wanted to talk about. And that was having to do with DC continuity and the other thing that you were trying to do on your live stream. Okay, we've got Lord saying, I was enjoying Eldering. How are you enjoying that? Ed Brewer, it's getting crowded up in here. He also watched Sonic 2. He thought it was decent. At least Marvel is doing something interesting with Devil's Reign and Dark Age storytelling. And if I remember, Dark Age is connected to Tom Taylor working on that. Oh, on the topic of Tom Taylor, actually, there is a way that I can. Here we go, the CBR article. All right, I'll get this prepared. Actually, I'll prepare it in a new. I'll get it in a new tab. And here we go. And for those interested in what's happening here Tom Taylor-wise, Terrible Tom, I'm with Lord. Video games have more of my time than books now. Well, on the topic of video games, I have actually started returning to the Ezio trilogy. I recently finished I recently finished Assassin's Creed 2. Oh, well done, Lord. All right. To this article, of course, with Terrible Tom, Superman, Son of Kal-El, Taylor and Tommy discuss John's courageous milestone. What? Being a secondhand side character in his own story? Superman, Son of Kal-El writer Tom Taylor and Sian Tommy unpack the twists of issue 10, including Lois Lane's pivotal role and John's coming out story. What coming out story? How the F was it a coming out story? It was a nothing out story. He didn't even get to say he was X. But this is just a slave branding of a beloved character. Yeah, Super Activist is not doing too hot right now. I totally agree, Lord. Yeah, I just... Warning, below interview contains spoilers of Son of Kal-El, issue 10 out now. Written by Tom Taylor and drawn by Sian Tomey, Son of Kal-El explores a youthfully fraught take on the Man of Steel during a time when Superman is busy attending cosmic matters. His altruistic son, John Kent, has stepped up his guard, Metropolis, and a large world throughout. The son of Kal-El runs so far as John has faced cataclysmic events, seedy politicians, natural disasters, and more. But issue 10 spotlights one of the hero's most courageous moves out, coming out as bisexual to his mum. He didn't even get to say that he was. So stupid. Again, this comes off as a fake imposter John Kent. We really need Damian Wayne to get an exclusive on this one. All right. During an exclusive interview with CBR, the Son of Kal-El artist Sian Tomey delved into this pivotal moment of John Kent's storyline of how he and Tom Taylor approached it. The pair also teased what's to come with the cliffhanger of Jay's possibly nemesis storyline. The guy practically is his nemesis. And also hinted that while the reveal about Jay is coming, he's a villain. He always was from the beginning. It's likely not what readers think it is. Oh, shut that F up. Terrible Tom. Seeing beyond, we dive into spoilers. I'd love to hear of which panels were your favorite in Son of Kal-El issue 10. Sian responds, "Oh, that's a great question. It's not an easy answer because quite often when I'm working on the issue, obviously there are different panels that I'm really proud of. Let me guess, you're part of Tribe Alphabet?" Lord, his mother is more hero than him. Yes. Laughs out loud. I have a few hours in Valheim, 300 plus. I never played Kingdom Hearts before, but should. But should I get Kingdom Hearts 4? Well, that's up to you, Lord, if you want to get it. I'm really proud of what I'm excited drawing about, but I often think what I'm going to post on Instagram, because PR stunts matter. Quite often, and in fairness, this is also Tom's fault. Oh, isn't that nice? Tom's at fault too. See, he is terrible because he keeps putting all these really cool moments in each of the issues. What cool moments? That he's a villain like Jay Nakamura? And maybe he's secretly bisexual and his wife doesn't know about it? Hey, Tevi, I'm waiting for you to come and join the live stream. You should, and it is through StreamYard. On top of that, I think, but I don't know if there was only, I think if there was only one thing that I did post that I asked the guys, it was Dix and Bab's moment where they are leaning over each other at the computer. I love that moment. But there are 5 pages that happened in Ireland, and I didn't post any of those because I couldn't. And then there's all the Lex Luthor and Lois Lane stuff. And then there's obviously the moment where John speaks to Lois about his sexuality. Well, he didn't really say anything. It was just show, don't say. And then it's just a stupid little hug. We've seen a lot of iterations of Lex Luthor throughout the DC universe, and in this run, he's more of a seedy businessman politician. With this issue especially, what did you want to make sure came across with your depiction of Lex? This seems to be quite a fair article. How long is it? I get these scripts where Lex and Bendix are talking to each other, and we basically have 2 bold megalomaniacs. Oh, you mean like Tom Taylor? Oh, okay, so these are stories about Tom Taylor. They're not stories about Henry Bendix or Thingo at all. Hey, good to see you, Xavier. Okay.
Shit.
There you go. I hear
you. So what's going on?
Oh, not much. I'm just reading through this article.
Yeah. Yeah, from CBI with Ben, with
Yes.
Get a good work and Ben with talking to each other. We have basically 2 ball megalomaniacs talking to each other. So I want to make sure that when you understand this guy are not the same person. I don't want to look at the paint of both honor to difference. I don't care. This boy. This is getting nowhere. Like,
yeah.
You read it.
All right. I'll move it a little bit. All right. He's addressing how one never loses his cool, and he's the consummate professional. Oh, he sounds a lot like Tom Taylor.
Yeah, it does.
Ben next to me feels completely unhinged. He may have the good skin on it when he's out talking to people. Again, sounds like Tom Taylor.
Yep.
But when he's in his lab, which he mostly is, he's the worst manager you could imagine.
Possibly imagine.
Yeah.
Would that probably is killed it in Warstorm? Again, I never played Warstorm. I don't know what that kid just killed it that much.
Yeah. What's that? I'm moving.
Nice. Wait, what playthrough? What game?
Oh, I believe they're talking about Elden Ring.
Oh yeah, that game. I never beat it.
Oh, on the topic of video games as well, I have been playing through Assassin's Creed 2,
Nice.
the Ezio trilogy. I've recently finished the first one. Yep. And some good news. I've already pre-ordered the Sifu PS4 video game, which will be coming out in May.
Nice.
And I look forward to playing that.
I still need a beat at the Sifu. I mean, still be what Kirby had, and then the chance to beat it.
I think in some way it's somewhat similar to Sekiro, but just done in a different format.
Yep.
But in this time, you're fighting to keep your age as one thing.
Yep.
Throughout the whole story. And
yep. That's not easy. You saw my dad out frustrated. What the fuck?
So in turn, it. I think it's a complete. I think it's meant to be like in its own way, a completionist nightmare.
Yep.
in its own way. So those who like to be completionists and love to work on getting things 100%, yeah, this could very well be the game for you.
Also, for I abandoned multiple endings, which
yes,
I didn't know what that. Then the ending I'm trying to get is something like the peaceful ending. Because I don't know how to spare someone. I spared one boss because I got lucky, which I was that's it. I had to clean up on all the time. I spared him because of other bosses. Yeah, that's impossible. I don't know how I spared other bosses when I tried.
Well, by what I've seen of it online, I think the controllers or the controls for it could be maybe a little bit better in some places where it can also lack.
Yep.
And that would be my only slightest criticism of the game, even though I've not played the game itself. That's my slight criticism of it.
Yep.
Back to the CBR article. You know what? I might just jump towards the end of it. Of course, we see some events, whatever else. Here we go.
Wait. The Watch Out Troop is attempting device to save the day, but ensuring I can't remember we got fake out. Why do you only choose for war down like that way in power you mean they could worse? Lex assumes he's smart person in the room, any room, works in a great general on the planet, and the meaning of which world modernity came out on top. Or skilled persons to you when it comes down to talking to club men. And get line the pop. That doesn't sound bad. That sounds pretty good.
Yep. And of course moving into the so-called big scene where he says he comes out as
Ep5. Whoa. No one cares. It is forced, not organic.
I agree. It is still forced.
This story was still like the thing the corrupt parties and it's also very much John Ken coming out with mother. Yeah, but it wasn't organic, you lost it! Whatever. When I died on this moment, we tried to shoot mom in a way approach to talking about John Patsaki. Taylor said, I don't think there was anything about the way John came out. It was more a matter of show, don't tell, but so took Larry. Sure, Tom Taylor. Sure. Whatever. Next time, so I don't really know the scene. It's what one we talked about the most. Oh, I talked about a lot, my bad. Back and forth, the pain to get away, that's the moment. The sing. turn them on, so I mean, if anything old will be supplied by the sun coming out unconnected government support. Okay, he's not wrong with that. You know what? I would have went past because at the moment, so it was a good scene. The problem was executed with Jay. He's not anything. He's boring.
Agreed.
Like
And
the moment, though, it's isolated scene away from the fucking issues. It's actually a good scene.
yep,
The problem is we never didn't get that choice organically. We lost John the memory. The Ben destroyed everything.
agreed. Things would have worked out better if, say, for example, if the story took, I don't know, 40 issues.
Yeah, already
Like,
or 10 years of John development aging up naturally.
exactly.
And if you want husband or bisexual, fine. But here's the thing: you build it up organically, not rush it. Like with them of a crap. We
Yep.
didn't see each other. That's it for fucking me anymore. We know that's more of a child. That's driving me crazy. Oh.
It is crazy.
I can't wait for John to come in that moment and address so the Warmby was forced to shove and embrace, but you know John looks trouble happy and surprised at the same time, because his power looked that way or other areas in the morning he prayed before is on his run. What the hell is that? Not.
Well, I look forward to reviewing it when it comes out on my channel, which would be in close to about a month's time.
Yeah, hopefully I reviewed the issue itself. The issue itself is the best issue in the entire series, but that's not saying much, even though I give it 2 out of 5. I think. Don't remember. But the issue itself, it's not bad.
Yeah.
Is it good? Hey, no. It's not horrible. It's not the worst issue like issue 6 or issue 5.
Yeah. I was just seeing what Michael Brent was saying. He was just sharing. He even suggested ideas as well. If you're not too fond of one thing, you might like this.
I've been looking at for I'm excited for that game.
Yeah,
I haven't told a date. What did you club? I heard that game was a horror game, and I heard it for free. So I'll check on it eventually, but it does get dark.
Yeah. I might see what else Tom Taylor said in this interview. So we'll move off Tormy, but we'll look for what Taylor said.
Colors.
He's Batman. That's speaking about the Batman moment.
Jay Nakamura me.
That is probably one of the best things that I do sort of like about this.
Yeah. Batman figuring out Jay cannot be trusted.
Yeah.
Which I've been saying that for months ever since this thing happened. Jay is not a good character. He's a villain. With Tony. Tony then committed Batman into a coming out moment. Tells Young to not try to do a man injuries. Bold move that I think some fans will love, where others might just want to see John ever be punter. No. Here's the thing, who had nothing to do with his whole life. Why you chose making Jay more mistaken intention and pretended to be John's new nemesis? Good! I don't for that because we need Jay, but the guy never knew an asshole. I want to make villain.
I agree. From the beginning, like since he first turned up, he's been sus.
Yeah, from the very beginning. The guy is a manipulative asshole, but continue.
Actually, you know one thing I'd like to see? If he does this right in like exposing him as a villain. Say, for example, Damian Wayne manages to take a sample of Jay's hair. Batman gets a hold of the sample, realizes, oh shit, yeah, there's something more to Jay here than
yeah.
Things aren't what they appear to be. So in turn, we have John in somewhat of a stupor of sorts.
Yeah, brainwashed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't really say anything about that. You have to read the next issue. Say we try to subvert expectations throughout the series. All may not be what it seems. So what expectation you say? That could go really good or really bad.
Yeah. In other words,
Wait.
he does.
I know you can't say what Jade hating or not, but how frustrating or fun might be of both is where you haven't drawn care for frustrating way of some time. If this started to be a kind of way you know it will change, it's hard to manage. Judge Epica never says all they do you change to look. Oh, I sure hope we come up with a villain because I'll be laughing with get people. Hey, you're using my pampers and change to become funny. Good, your pampers didn't suck that way, so I'll be laughing. It'll be funny. And I know some people are doing. Jay and John should be forever. I know some.
Yeah, I've seen that too online, and
But I'll be laughing. It's actually fun. Those idiots fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. Suckers.
oh, on top of that, the public also found out that Damian Wayne's Robin is getting a Pride variant. I don't care. I'll still be collecting it.
Oh.
But there's already thoughts of, oh, does Damien have a coming out story too? Well,
No.
we've already got that, but it's somewhere out in the multiverse already.
Yeah. The female Damon Wayne at the end of 16 or 13. I don't remember. Not 16.
No. It's one where there's, I think it's Alexis Luthor and Damian Wayne, and there's Connor Kent in it.
Oh yeah, Multiversity.
Yeah, it's in Multiversity. And in it, we have that Damian Wayne who does actually like that Connor Kent in that kind of way.
Yep.
But he's a little bit shy to say it. But Alexis Luthor can see it. But he's not good in putting it out. But I think if they were to say, for example, do a story from the multiversity in regards to that character, and yeah, he does finally
man.
Yep. That he does finally have the courage to say something to that Connor Kent, it would work really well. Okay, apart from that, not much more from Tom Taylor. But no doubt you can definitely see that he'll try to turn Jay Nakamura into a hero. Sorry, Jay's not the hero of the story. It's meant to be John Samuel King.
Yeah. Jay never the hero of the story from the very beginning. Wait, what did the interview say? Yes.
I'll fix that up. I'll show that end of that. I was saying, like in relation to this story,
Yep.
It looks like they want to try to make Jay out to be a hero. Like that.
He's not. He's a villain.
Yeah, I agree. Keep him as a villain.
Don't give him a redemption arc. Please don't. Because the guy cannot be trusted. The guy manipulated him. He tracked him down, manipulated him, twisted his motivation, twisted his backstory made no sense. His backstory's not bullshit at the beginning of Ghetto. And the guy manipulative scum up. Where you go to tech? We don't know. Where you get his powers? Oh, I guess by Henry Bennett. Bennett gave me my powers. What then? How does that work? Like, I know Henry Bennett is a tactical genius. I know the guy is a dictator who ruled on country. sorry, Doctor Doom, and Mark Shaw for the environment. No, crap. I mean, no one gives a damn about that book. But I don't believe for a second.
Yeah. Well, there was also something that you wanted to speak about on your channel, but you didn't get to doing it because of problems with Restream and one of the guests.
Yeah, I played. I did play on comic pen, and then that battery died, so
Yeah.
I ended it prematurely.
And I mentioned, how about we talk about it on the subscriber live stream? So,
Sure.
and it was on the issue of what was it, a DC reboot or
Reboot the continuity again. Well, that was his idea. That was his topic, not mine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but the short version of my idea with the reboot, I wouldn't go full reboot. I think I saw reboot probably, but I already have left because let's be real, do a full reboot. We'll mess up and never going to New 52. I don't want to repeat a New 52 all over again because that's gonna fuck me up. But my short version of the answer, if you want to reboot, fine. Just soft reboot. Don't go full reboot. You'll mess everything up again.
Agreed. One thing that I've also been watching here, or started getting back into watching, is Shaman King.
Nice.
So it's nice to finally get back to that. I am taking it slow. Apart from playing the video games that I've been playing,
Yep.
And still getting used to the new innards or the new upgraded innards inside my computer on my desktop, and also working out, okay, what works okay, what doesn't work okay. Do I make sure I'm still in contact with the person I paid for to give it the upgrade? So if there's any issues or problems, that he knows about it. So it finally made a start into going back and watching Shaman King. And it's nice to get back to it. The next thing I'll probably want to catch up with will be Boruto. This is another thing I really need to catch up with.
Mm-hmm. I still need to catch up Bordeaux. I'm so big with Attack on Titan that I've been lacking behind. I don't know what's going on Bordeaux anymore.
Yeah. Another series I want to get up a review up for, and that is
Vinland Saga.
Vinland Saga.
Never heard of it.
I have read the manga of it. It's definitely worth checking out.
Kind of remind me of Attack on Titan dude Naruto.
I think it's done through the same studio, or might be connected to the same studio,
or the same creator.
And there's meant to be a second season of it coming out as well.
That's cool.
So the first season's already finished up. Season 2, we know it's coming out.
And so there's whatever.
And this is just some of the pictures.
Nice.
Of both the anime and the manga. What else is there that I want to catch up with?
My Hero?
Yes, My Hero Academia, when it does come out, the next season. I've already finished the last season. So I'm basically just waiting patiently for that to come out. Komi Can't Communicate. That's actually a series I'd like to watch because I'm also reading the manga.
Mm-hmm.
But I need to find time to do that.
I like Ultraman. The new season is badass.
Yeah. All right. It's not here, is it? I know what I'm looking for. WordPress. Just to get up a list of things that I'm trying to cover on the website as well as on the channel. All right. Of course, there's whatever of the comic reviews and the Fool's Gold. To those who enjoyed the Kitko Hitman Reborn, I do have somewhat a question, like to those who sort of review on my channel, of seasons, I think it was 4 and 5. I'm already planning on getting like the next season review out. Now, I've already like finished off the review, and so you'll get a scheduled version for that review to go out. But I'm thinking for like something for when the last two go out, or the last review goes out. And I'm wondering whether or not if the audience would like to see me do a bit of a reflection over all of the seasons in like a fresh new video. Like once everything's all out in relation to it. You don't have to comment now. You can comment later. And it's just sort of like going a overall review covering from beginning to end what I thought. I just give my overall thoughts of each and every season from first to last in the anime. Of this anime, and I know I've still need to catch up with the actual manga.
I'll say you do with the cards. See the fire cards.
Well, he doesn't use any cards of sort, but it does have its own power system.
Yeah.
And it's a really incredible series.
Kakusta Hitman Reborn Season 2. We take care of the English dub. Oh, good, the English dub. I'll probably watch that at the, if I find it.
Yeah.
I want Jujutsu Kaisen. I watched Season 1. I watched the movie.
I've seen season 1 of Jujutsu Kaisen, and I think it does a pretty okay job with adapting the manga into anime.
Yep.
I didn't get to see Jujutsu Kaisen 0 in the cinema.
I saw it in the cinema, and it was fun.
I did have plans to see it, but because of strict restrictions here in Australia, because if you don't have this little certificate, we can't let you in. I'm sorry, that's discrimination, and this shit should not be happening.
Yep.
I mean it. This shit should not be happening.
Mm-hmm. I get it.
And it doesn't matter if you've got a disability or not. What your personal choices are should remain your personal choices, not for the government to say, "Oh, let's ostracize this group of people."
Yep.
Because they won't bow to our deadline. I'm sorry, if you want to do that, you need to, stick your papers up your own ass and leave the rest of the people alone. Just being blunt about it.
Yep. Yeah.
Nice to see Lord and Michael Brent talking in text about some of the video games. Xenoblade,
3.
Xenoblade 3 there, to which I've not played.
Same.
So is that a bit of a beat 'em up type game, or is it something journey?
No, Xenoblade RPG.
RPG. So. All right. Now, is there anything else there? Apart from needing to catch up with Shaman King and Boruto, they're about the only. Oh yes, another thing that I'll probably have go up on the channel. I've already got the video prepared for it, and that is Book of Circus or Black Butler Season 3, Book of Circus. And my goodness, absolutely enjoyed that. Enjoyed that whole season. You'll find out when the review goes up. I'm not too sure, but there is also news of now. This is something that I quite enjoyed.
Classroom of the Elite.
Yeah,
I heard to see it before. I think I put it on Netflix once.
All right, this is one series that I actually quite liked. It had about, I think it was 12 episodes.
Yeah, that's starts to live anime.
Yeah, and it was very interesting. And I must admit, there are actually things in the anime that I also somewhat enjoy a little bit more in the light novel. But the manga for it is eventually coming out, or has eventually started to come out in English, like the actual manga itself. So I want to get that. So I'm looking forward to returning to this series. And we've already got some news that there's plans for both season 2 and season 3 to come out. So both have been confirmed that they're going to occur. And I think that's awesome.
Yep.
And I really hope they can deliver a well impactful story. It'll probably it will quite likely pick up from where the last season picked up from.
29 years before JLPG by the week back in 2010. He's found by the Kesha Smart Boys. Yep. You make it to the Smash Bros.
Yeah. Thank you, Michael Brent.
Oh, when did the Kesha Smash Bros. Wii U?
Yeah.
I have no idea. Then they're being a Smash Bros. Ultimate.
I'm also hoping that in the next season of Classroom of the Elite is that they'll have more than 12 episodes.
Yep.
Because it really needs it. I would have liked it if they maybe had more episodes in the first season. But it is what it is for the time being, and there's not much I can do about that. Is there anything that you've been watching anime-wise? I think you mentioned Attack on Titan?
Yes. I've been watching the final season of that show.
Yeah, so...
And oh boy, Aaron is going completely nuts. He's not going to be good for genocide. What the fuck? Like, that's not the Aaron I knew from season 1. Why is he going way too extreme? Granted, I get why he did it. He's doing it because he wants to protect it's fine because the world assholes. But fine. I just think going again after the Mario a scumbag. But to use the smack entire world, we going to for the extreme?
Well, one thing I would like to do is actually collect the manga to this series, like all of
I
the
heard the end of
recent
the manga
series.
very controversial.
I'm not overly worried about that.
Yeah.
There is also another series, sort of like, or actually, there's a couple of side stories or side story mangas as well.
Yes,
Which I'd need to pick
and
up.
I did hear we're getting a part 3 about the final season.
Yeah.
Which, okay, part 3, that is in theory. What's my problem? Had part 3 but I have evidence title about. I thought it would be a 2-parter. I was wrong about that. Because we're getting a part 3, which, okay, fine. But, what's part 3 gonna do?
Alright. So you been catching up with any other video games?
Besides Kirby, not so much. I will remember Tokyo. Go by Tokyo. I have something with Kirby right now that I've not been playing on not been playing on January.
Oh, the Ghostwire Tokyo.
Yeah. But I haven't played on Kirby right now, so I'm not playing that game yet.
Yeah, that was one game that I was interested in playing. I remember when they first announced it that it was also going to go on the Xbox or Xbox One, and at the moment I've only seen it come out for the PS5.
Yep.
More so than the Xbox One, which is slightly disappointing.
To be fair, this game was not for to be exclusive.
What's this? You can play the Definitive Edition and Xenoblade 2 on Switch, which has an anime
aspect to it. Fine code, storage code, and the button KS3. To be fair, KS3 would end into a big epic saga. Xenoblade Chronicles is a sequel to Xenoblade Chronicles 1, which is different. That's just me.
Yeah.
Anyways, again, right over here, I'm gonna play cards.
Yep, no problems.
Yep, thank you, Tam. Thank you.
No problems. You have yourself a good one.
You too. Bye.
See you.
Bye.
All right. Now that Tevye's left, I hope he has an incredible day. And we'll work with whoever else is still here. So apart from this, and my time with attempting to work on, what was it? Oh, that's something else I was wanting to talk about, seeing that we've got a little bit more people present. I had one of those weeks this week where, even though mentally you might not be prepared for something, you actually find out that you are prepared for it. And one thing that I had been sort of like preparing myself up to do, and one of the things that sort of like helped prepare me to do this was traveling to go see the movie. And it was sort of like something to get me out of the house, get me to go somewhere else. Classroom of the Elite. Try to be smart and serious, but there are many holes that ruin for it. And finally, sort of like going to the cinema thing, and I of course got to go out with my parent. I went out with my parent, and I thought, okay, I got to arrange to go somewhere else now, even though things didn't quite work out with the cinema. All right, I wanted to go somewhere to which, okay, there would be somewhat no discrimination, and I ended up doing that. So I went out again the Tuesday of that week, and sure enough, I ended up finding somewhere. I got to enjoy some yummy soup, and it also had like some nice bread with it. Lovely person who served it up. And that was sort of like the next thing to get myself mentally prepared before like moving to the next location that I wanted to go. So the next location that I wanted to go was somewhere just a little bit outside of the city. So as I made my arrangements sort of like the following week, and it was this Tuesday of all Tuesdays past, I made arrangements. I caught the train to where I needed to go to. And from there, I started to take the tram, and I thought, okay, this tram should be taking me to the location where I want to go to. Well, not knowing that this tram isn't a weekend tram, in fact, it was a weekday tram, it actually took me to one of the places that I was actually going to plan on going to next after going to the place that I originally had planned to go to that day. And sure enough, I ended up in the city. And I thought, well, now that I'm here, I might as well go check out and catch up with my LCS and see what the other ones are like whilst I'm here. So finally get to the city. It's sort of like, okay, now that I'm here, I might as well catch up with the LCS and still find time to do what I originally planned to do. And sure enough, I ended up dropping into one of the LCSs, not my main one. And boy, had things changed. I mean, quite a bit had changed, including the layout of it. It's a place that I've also shown some content of on my channel, a place called Minotaur Comics or Minotaur Entertainment. And I had a bit of a look around. Of course, I saw the Orient manga, but they only had volumes 1 and 4. I thought if they at least had the first 2 volumes, I'd grab them both. Of course, I had some money set aside for that day for myself to spend. And then after that, I decided to go to my main LCS, All Star Comics in the city. And it was really nice to walk my way down to where their shop is. And yeah, there's been a lot of changes around the shop. And you can certainly see like a number of shops that were affected, like heavily affected by the terrible restrictions that happened here in Australia. And my goodness, you just feel for each and every one of those people who lost their shops through this totalitarian lockdown. It's just terrible as. Okay, back to Lord, talking on the topic of Classroom of the Elite. One of the examples of Anakoji saves the day using Sakura's GPS location, which is somehow possible because he has Sakura's number, a concept which only gets introduced in hindsight. Fair point, Lord. And as I finally went into the LCS, I got to see some of the members or the staff who work there, and of course I got a big hi and hello from them, and it was really nice to see them. Of course, they really need to get the masks off them. It's the only way to put it. But apart from that, it was still nice to talk to them. I got to meet one of the new staff members, which was really nice too. I also got to catch up with a staff member that I haven't seen for a while, and she also has her own channel, and it's called Nerdburger Kaz, and I was also thankful for her like putting out her content on her channel, because it sort of like let me know what things were like in the city, because she lives in the city. And even though she's got more subscribers than me, she's a lovely person. I got to ask her how she was going and how her other half was going. And they were getting on quite well, and which was really nice. Then after that, I started making arrangements to go to where I originally had planned. And of course, we've got a place here in St Kilda, to which we've got like a park of sorts, Luna Park. And the place that I like to go to is sort of like not very far away from that place. And I finally got to go where I was going. Had a bit of a look around, and again, I did see some areas, and of course, a number of shops that were harmed through the lockdown crap, but there were still some shops that were open, and I ended up dropping into this one location, and I finally got to sit down and enjoy something to eat and to drink there, and that was really good. And it's just nice to get away from the computer, get away from YouTube, get away from PowerTalk or Twitter as well. And I even got to share a little bit about it on my Twitter, that I end up going out for the day. Yeah, I think something that sort of felt like a bit of an accident, in the end sort of turned out in a way into its own miracle. And that was the lovely thing about that day. I still managed to get myself back home safely from the trip, but I had to use pretty much the same way I got from that place in St Kilda back to the city, and from the city I got myself home on the train. So at least now I know I'm ready to return to the city, pick up my comics at my LCS, but I'll probably be paying for them online first. Hey, good to see you, Comic Boom. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for dropping by. And I'll say one thing, it would actually be nice to have you back on the channel again, Comic Boom. Maybe talk some DC topics of what's been happening there. Because the last time I remember having you on the channel was some Super Sons related content. Always up for DC. All right, then. We're going to have to find a time to which it would work out good for both of us. Comic Boom, for us to catch up on a live stream. Plus, we can also talk about it in DM anyway on Twitter. So, if not here, we can do it on Twitter. Maybe get a live stream between us up again, which would really be nice. A time that works well for us both. Yeah, no more Super Sons lately. Damien on John too old. Well, we can always talk about other things apart from Super Sons, such as what is good and what isn't, and what you've enjoyed and what I've enjoyed. Lord says Damien is doing somewhat good. I do somewhat enjoy the direction that Joshua Williamson is taking Damien, but one thing he needs to do is get Damien working with Batman again, and also to be with the Bat family members. Whether he actually has that plan long term, I'm not too sure if he does or not. Yeah, I'm enjoying Robin too. I must admit, I think Robin is still way better than Son of Kal-El by a mile, maybe even 5 or 10 miles. Like even the thing between Flatline and Damien, it's not like a full shipping, which I really appreciate, and I think that really works. But you do definitely get to see that, okay, there is a little bit of interest between these characters, just like how there's a little bit of interest, or you see interest between Bruce Wayne and Talia, or Bruce Wayne and someone else. That I do like, just in the subtle, but not ready to jump full on over the top in it. That's where you can sometimes lose the reader, and we don't really need that. I agree. I am prejudiced against guys with pink hair and not a fan of Jay Nakamura. I want Jay to get together with John to get together with Satin Girl. Yes, and I got to talk about the article not so long ago, before you came in, Comic Boom, on CBR. And of course, it looks like Tom Taylor still wants to make that some sort of a thing. But I have seen something on Twitter to which someone brought up, make Jay Nakamura and Lois Lane like evil versions. And this is why it's working out. And that somewhere out there in the universe, well, that sort of works already with what I suggested in one of my articles, which was also posted up on Bleeding Fool. That this, when he appeared, I thought that, is that DC version of Quentin Kid Omega? Batman does not trust Jay neither. Neither do I. Make Jay a villain. I 100% agree with that, Comic Boom. Because there were things early in the series, even some certain gestures that made me think that maybe this character might actually be related to Bendix, the Henry Bendix. And hey, I'd love to find out in its own way, because another thing too that you see with Jay's character is the scene in reference where he sort of like talks about his mother. And that sort of reminds me a little bit of what's actually said about the William Bendix mother. So definitely, yes, Chase should remain a villain. So hashtag hashtag keep Jay Nakamura a villain. All right. So what have you been reading and enjoying there, Comic Boom? Whether it's from DC or even from the independents, because I know sometimes I get to see some of the things that you've been sharing on your channel. And I did get to watch your last review on the DC solicits that came out, or not the solicits, the DC comics of this week past. That's it. So you've been enjoying Human Target. That's the one that's got Tom King working on it, if I remember. And he's got a bit of a comment here on Greg Smallwood's art is amazing. So I'm glad you're enjoying the art. I'm glad that with World of Krypton, the last issue is the last issue. I managed to get my review for that finally finished yesterday, and that will probably be showing up within a month. So that'll be interesting. And I wonder if Robert Venditti will end up doing what he covered in the Superman 78 with it. We'll soon find out anyway, because I absolutely enjoyed Robert Venditti's Superman 78. That was absolutely fantastic from beginning to end. I must admit, I enjoy it more than Tom Taylor's work. I got to be brutally honest. I enjoyed it more than Tom Taylor's Elseworld stories and his present Superman story. Oh, I enjoy World of Krypton. I wish it had more significance given to Carter Al and the Hawkman of Krypton. That would be really good to see in it. And that's a very fair point, because I remember when Carter Al also showed up in the Venditti Hawkman run. That was a good story. And in it, you learned in the Venditti run that he was a bit of a mentor to Kara. Kara Al. And also some of the things that she also learned. Yes, Carter Al did show up in Venditti's Hawkman. Yes, that's the one. And I liked what happened in that. That was a really brilliant story that he did. it would be nice to see Venditti get a little bit more work, preferably over Tom Taylor. And Tom King. Just to start off with the two T's. But we need some Peter J. Tomasi back, no doubt about that. Also, some more Dan Jurgens. What else have I been enjoying? Of course, there's following the Shadow War event at the moment. I've only read the first 2 parts to it. Waiting for the next part to turn up, which will probably show up in the mail, I think, even next week. Blue and Gold. Yes, that's Dan Jurgens' one. I might wait for that to come out in trade paperback. But I also want to get a hold of the other hardcover of Dan Jurgens on Booster Gold. I've got the first one, but I need to get a hold of the second one. So that's something to be planned a little bit later on. Not jumping on it straight away, but also making sure that I've got enough space to put it on my shelves. Or drawers, or wherever I decide to put those trades. Because I've got quite a number of comics as well as trades that I need to catch up with, including manga too, because it can be quite easy to sort of like set aside the manga that I'm going to review for the week and make sure that they get put in bags and boards. But when it comes down to the rest of the manga, or not manga, rest of the comics and whatever that I've got, they sort of get left behind and without bags and boards. So because I put the review ones ahead of it first. The next thing is, what is my favorite manga title? That's a good question. It's a mix between... Okay, you've never read much manga? Good question. All right, now, if I were to suggest somewhat slice of life type manga, but also has its own intrigue, my present one, but it can also be quite rare to pick up at the moment, is Reborn by Akira Amano. I definitely enjoy that. Another one outside of that one is Blue Exorcist. But if you were to recommend something, now, what category would you want to somewhat read it in? Comic Boom. Say, if they had superhero, if they had supernatural, if you just want something regular slice of life, what area would you want to maybe pick up something in? I'll have to Google it. All right. Science fiction? Okay. For science fiction, you might really enjoy Dr. Stone. I think you would quite enjoy that. We also have other titles that are somewhat science fiction. Okay. All right. Yeah, Dr. Stone. It's a story that involves science, and yeah, the story might be fictional, but it's still a lot of fun. It centers around an event that affects the Earth, and in the story, this is just a little spoiler, but whether it's enough to get you to pick it up and check it out for yourself, that's up to you to decide. There's like a bit of a beam that hits the planet, which causes like the people to turn to stone. And as time goes by, so say practically like over 1,000 years, until eventually some people start to break out of the stone. And with that, we have the main character who's called Senku, and he also ends up meeting up with like another one of his friends, and they start to work on developing a form of cure to break people out of this stone that they've been put in. We also learn that his father is also an astronaut, and when this event occurs, his father is in space. So the father also arranges things to sort of like get back to the planet, start to get a group of people, colony of sorts up. And yeah, it might be something that you would want to check out both manga and even anime wise. And that's the first one that comes to mind. I have actually been reading the manga of it, and I do enjoy the manga. The manga recently came to an end. So the manga series has actually finished, but the anime for it is still going. So you've got season 1, season 2. I think there might be a season 3 on the way. I'll have to pay attention to it. Let's see what they say. And I'll say one thing. The end of the manga definitely leaves things open to which there might be a sequel to the series. It doesn't mean there will be a sequel, but there might be a sequel to the series. What else would be considered science fiction? Now, if you're looking for something maybe superhero-like, you might like One Punch Man, which centers around the character called Saitama, to which she ends up like going through an experience, and you learn that in his world that, okay, there's like a superhero agency of sorts, and he's just gone around punching some villains and such. And he's sort of like looking for that one good fight. And you do get to sort of learn like how strong the character is. And of course, he meets his share of characters along the way as well. I have watched through the first season. The first season was quite good. I did try watching the second season, but I just couldn't really get into it. Its delivery was not as good as the first. But I still need to go back and watch that season. I've also got the manga of it here too, which I need to read. What are some other maybe manga titles? If you want something a little bit more slice of life, maybe even your daughter might like, there is a series called Komi Can't Communicate. and it centers around a young high schooler who is, well, very, very, very socially awkward. And she finds it very hard to communicate with others, and you get to see that she sort of like uses a board of sorts, and of course you meet the main character who sort of like introduces you to Comey, and you get to follow that through. It's not really super rom-commy, but some people might see it as a bit of a rom-com, but the story is sort of like helping a character learn to get out of their shell more, learn to open up more, and eventually reach their goal of, say, maybe having 100 friends. So that's a bit of a suggestion for something that you might want to watch with your daughter. What else? What other manga would I suggest? Or could I suggest? I'll just leave it for that right now. So I hope you enjoy checking out Dr. Stone, both the manga and the anime. No problems, Comic Boom. No problems. Oh, kidding. Well, I might prepare to end the stream then. And a big thanks to everyone who made it here, from Chauffeur7AU or _7AU, Michael Brent, Lord, Ed Brewer, who made it to the stream, Tevier, who ended up dropping in for a little while. Of course, Comic Boom. We can't forget Comic Boom. Oh, for Image, I quite enjoy Aerosmith. Oh, okay, no problems. Oh, Kurt Busiek. I ended up finishing a trade of his recently. Creature of the Night. Damn, that was good. I even asked him if he was going to do a sequel to the series, and he said no. And you know what? I do appreciate his interaction with the readers. No doubt about that. He's good on his responses. Tevi Smoker, he left a long time ago, Lord. This is Tehillim29 here. No doubt it was certainly an enjoyable stream. A big thanks to everyone who made it here, including Comic Boom. And like I said before, I definitely going to have to try to get this incredible man onto a live stream again, even if it's just talking DC Comics or something, something together. It doesn't have to be Super Sons. It can be something else. But definitely check out Comic Boom's channel. I am thankful for him, like in helping out when we were doing the early Super Sons Fortress of Attitude live streams. And I still do the Super Sons Fortress of Attitude live streams, but in these live streams presently, I've been covering the Batman Wayne family adventures, to which it's got Damien in it. So stay tuned for those. Well, I hope everyone has an awesome day. And I'll see you all next time. Oh, and I do have a question again to those who saw my review on the Hitman Reborn or the Hitman Reborn review. And that question is, would you like to see me do maybe one more video on the subject of the Hitman Reborn or the animated series? Just sort of like an overall reflection of things I enjoyed from first, second, third, all the way up to the last season, and a bit of a reflection of how things sort of like changed with the characters with each season. Definitely would love to hear feedback on that. Lord says no. I'll see what everyone else says, Lord. Well, until then, have yourself an awesome day. Now, just before I get going, make sure no one else has said anything else. Okay. All right, then. Big thanks to everyone who made it to the live stream. You're much appreciated, and I couldn't do this without you. See you later, Sliverclaw.